For years, smartphone cameras have been getting better without really changing. But now, one small, almost forgotten feature might actually change how phone photography feels, and it's something Samsung tried years ago, dropped, and Apple may finally bring back in 2026. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. Back in the days of the Samsung Galaxy S9 and Galaxy S10, Samsung did something no other phone maker dared to do. They added a mechanical, variable aperture to a smartphone camera. Not software tricks, not AI blur, actual moving parts inside the lens, letting the camera physically open or close to control light and depth. At the time, it sounded revolutionary. In practice, most people barely noticed it. And then, it disappeared. So why are we suddenly hearing rumors that Samsung wants to bring it back and that Apple might be doing the same on the iPhone 18 Pro? To understand why this matters now, you need to understand what aperture really does. Think of aperture as the pupil of a camera. Open it wide and more light comes in. Your subject stands out, the background softens, and low-light shots look cleaner. Close it down and more of the scene stays sharp, but you need good lighting. On real cameras, adjusting aperture is one of the most important creative tools photographers have. It affects exposure, sharpness, background blur, even how lenses behave at the edges. On phones, most of that control has been replaced by software guesses. That's why Samsung dropped the feature after the Galaxy S10. Back then, sensors were tiny, computational photography was exploding, and software solutions were cheaper, easier, and easier to sell. Night mode, HDR stacking, AI sharpening, those gave instant, visible results with no moving parts and no risk. The dual aperture system wasn't bad, it just didn't matter enough. Yet. Fast forward to 2026, and the situation is very different. Smartphone sensors are getting much bigger. Rumors suggest the Galaxy S26 Ultra could use a massive 200-megapixel sensor around 1.3 inches in size. Meanwhile, the iPhone 18 Pro is expected to use a 48-megapixel sensor at roughly 1.28 inches. That's still smaller than a full 1-inch sensor, but it's close enough that aperture control actually starts to make a visible difference. And here's the key point. Aperture isn't just about fake DSLR-style blur. Yes, natural background separation is nice, but controlling aperture also lets you sharpen images, reduce lens artifacts, manage diffraction, and choose how digital or natural a photo feels. Right now, phones decide all of that for you, then clean everything up with aggressive processing. That's why even photos taken in Pro mode still look like smartphone photos. A real variable aperture, especially a continuous one, not just a jump between two values, could finally give photographers genuine control back, not just exposure sliders, but actual creative intent. And this is where Apple's involvement becomes interesting. Apple has never cared about being first. It cares about shipping something only when it believes the experience is polished. If Apple is actually planning to add variable aperture to the iPhone 18 Pro, that suggests the tech is finally mature enough to matter. But there's a big risk here. Apple loves automation. Portrait mode decides for you. Landscape mode decides for you. Night mode decides for you. And while that works for most people, a variable aperture locked behind auto-only logic would miss the entire point. If Samsung brings this back, it will almost certainly allow manual control in Pro mode. Apple needs to do the same. Otherwise, this becomes just another impressive-sounding feature that photographers can't actually use. We've seen this story before. The Galaxy S9 and S10 were early, limited, and ahead of their time. The idea was right, the ecosystem wasn't. In 2026, it might finally be. This won't turn phones into DSLR replacements overnight, but if done right, it could push smartphones closer to replacing high-end point-and-shoot cameras for people who care about photography beyond filters and presets. And honestly, that's the most exciting camera rumor we've heard in years. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.